Welcome to Sports Court. I'm Tamara Holder. At just 25 years old, Joseph Chernock hanged himself in his parents' shed. His brother immediately suggested his brain be tested, which revealed he had CTE, the degenerative brain disease caused by multiple hits to the head. Joseph wasn't an NFL player, and he didn't play college football either. But Joseph played football from 5th grade through his senior year of high school. And now his family is suing Pop Warner, the youth football league he played in from the time he was 11 to 14 years old. Concussion lawsuits are being filed against the NFL and more. So, should parents allow their kids to play football? Joining me from our LA bureau is legal consultant Kimberly Archie. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you for having me.
So, I want to ask you, is this the end of football as we know it?
Well, I think it's an end for tackle football at the younger levels. I don't think for the overall game that you watch in the NFL, I don't think that's over. I think it will continue to be a popular sport to watch.
Okay, so I want to point to actually a screen that we made up for our viewers. It's the case against the youth football, different positions. We have Dr. Bennett Amalu, who was the star of the Concussion movie, or it was based on him. He says that kids should not play football. The American Academy of Pediatrics says that tackling should be changed. The technique should be changed. American Academy of Neurology says that the policymakers and lawmakers, they're the ones that should change this. And then you have the American Academy of Pediatrics. They're saying that all contact sports should be completely banned. So what's your position on that?
Well, I really have to go with the science. And if you look at, Little League and how they count pitches, it doesn't make sense that we're counting throws, but we don't think that we should limit the number of hits. And so I have to go with Dr. Amalu and also Chris Nowinski, Dr. Cantu. There's a choir of voices that are letting parents know that repetitive head trauma is not good for kids, and under 12 years old, their brain cells aren't developed. It doesn't have the protective coating around the cells. Their necks and chest walls aren't developed. It's a whole different sport for little kids, even though we might think the hits aren't as big as they are in the NFL.
Well, to your point about repetitive trauma, there's a position here that the proximate cause can't be proved because of the fact that there was no evidence at the time that this 24-year-old man had any concussions while he played Pop Warner football, because at the time they weren't testing for it. So what about the argument that, okay, well, we just test kids for it. If they get a concussion, they stay out for X number of games or whatever. What do you make of that?
Well, there's really two separate issues. You have concussions or traumatic brain injuries, and you have subconcussive hits. And so, you have a lot of, it's basically a play on language. People are really focusing on concussions, but really it's about the number of hits that kids are taking. Every hit counts towards this accumulative brain trauma, and what they don't know is how many hits it takes or what age, that the hits actually are being taken more seriously. I think it's a matter of the science really explaining it to parents. It's an overuse injury. I mean, CTE is the Tommy John of football.
Right. You've seen recently that soccer, back in November, just a few months ago, they've said that you can't have head hits, if you will, in the game for young kids. Do you think that that's what should happen, that there should be laws, or that the NFL should actually come out, even though obviously little kids aren't playing in the NFL, but they're the ones that who should maybe make a rule or take a position? How can we change this moving forward?
Yeah, I think that soccer took a great step in that litigation in counting hits and also eliminating hits for younger kids. And they've also done that in hockey with checking, and we need to do that with football and other sports. We have to take these repetitive hits out of the game. You can't sanction child abuse and call it a game. What's the difference between shaking a baby for shaken baby syndrome, hitting your child repetitively over their lifetime and getting CTE, or letting them hit their head over and over at football practice?
Right.
We're taking our kids out of car seats and putting a helmet on it that was never even made for them and letting them go out and play. I mean, most parents don't know there isn't a football helmet standard for kids in this country. The standard is for adults.
Right, and I think that that's really the difference in wrapping this up, is that when you're talking about actual child abuse, the parent knows what they're doing is abusive, and I think in this situation, parents don't know. They didn't know the damage, or back then they didn't. But thank you so much for bringing this to light, and this conversation definitely isn't over here today. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for watching. Sports Court is adjourned.